1960, he ran for president and lost. Lyndon surprised many by accepting Kennedy's offer to be his running mate. He became vice president in January 1961. That would all change on November 22nd, 1963. John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. In that moment of national tragedy, Lyndon Baines Johnson became the 36th president of the United States. Now he faced the task of leading the free nation.
All I have, I would have given gladly not to be standing here today. No words are sad enough to express our sense of loss. No words are strong enough to express our determination to continue the forward thrust of America that he began.
You know, most presidents are just happy to have one or two bits of legislation that endure, that have a historical resonance to it. Johnson slammed out bill after bill, act after act.
A war against poverty was the war that Johnson really wanted to fight. In his first State of the Union address, he reached back to the populism of his father and grandfather. He took a Kennedy anti-poverty proposal and made it his own.
It will not be a short or easy struggle, but we shall not rest until that war is won. The richest nation on earth can afford to win it. We cannot afford to lose it.
When Lyndon Johnson became president, 35 million Americans were living below the poverty line in the most affluent country in the world.
LBJ always held FDR in high regard, and he always wanted to reenact his accomplishments. Thus, he was an ardent New Dealer and the last of its kind. In addition, LBJ came to his father and great-grandfather's times to go back to his populist beliefs to declare a war on poverty. The war on poverty was declared by LBJ in the summer of 1964 that aimed to eliminate poverty from America. President Johnson always wanted to help the poor because he was a school teacher in Cotulla, Texas in 1928. Thus, he always wanted to help the poor. When he became president in 1963 with JFK's assassination, he decided to help the poor through the Economic Opportunity Act. The EOA aimed to eliminate poverty from America and succeeded brilliantly. In 1961, before LBJ became president, the poverty rates were at an astounding 22%. However, in 1968, when he left office, it was an astounding 13%, a drop of 9%, the greatest in history. In addition, the Great Society also helped many other things, including healthcare. The Medicare helped in healthcare because before Medicare, people over 65 didn't have much health insurance, and even if they wanted to get health insurance, they weren't guaranteed, so therefore they may not have been able to get health insurance. However, with the Social Security amendments of 1965, Medicare was created. Medicare was a nationwide system of health insurance that made it easier for elderly to get health insurance. Medicare provided for family visits, insurance, and doctor visits. More importantly, Medicare guaranteed the right for elderly to get health insurance, boosting health insurance rates among the elderly. Medicare soon took off and is now having millions of people participating in it, and is now one of the most popular programs in government history.
Their cause must be our cause too. It's all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice. We shall
The purpose of the We Shall Overcome speech was to legitimize the civil rights protest movement as a result of the Bloody Sunday attacks on civil rights demonstrators during the Selma to Montgomery marches. President Lyndon B. Johnson was the first president since the Reconstruction period to pass major civil rights legislation. The most controversial point of the dilemma of civil rights is the fact that the federal government will impose more influence on state government. The Voting Rights Act outlawed biased voting practices that had been responsible for the widespread disenfranchisement of African Americans in the United States, further enforcing the 15th Amendment, which prohibits states from imposing any voting qualification or prerequisite to voting or standard practice or procedure, to deny or abridge the right of any citizen of the United States to vote on account of race or color. The Civil Rights Act outlawed major forms of discrimination on the basis of race, ethnicity, national and religious minority, and gender. This ended unequal application of voter registration requirements and racial segregation in schools and in facilities that serve the general public accommodations.